You know that feeling when you trip in front of a group of people and you know that they saw you and they're probably laughing at you right now? In this situation, your heart might be telling you to go over there and swing on each and every one of them, but that's not really the right thing to do. What you should do is find the nearest vehicle and run them over with it. Now, obviously I'm joking. Kinda. But we all wish that when we do something embarrassing, the people that saw it would just disappear. It might be a little bit hypocritical because I love watching those fail videos, but honestly I hate getting embarrassed, especially when there's people watching. Unique opinion of the year, I know. I feel like at this point I'd rather get injured than embarrassed almost any day. As much as it would suck to twist my ankle or something, it also sucks that everybody in Walmart now has to know that I just fell. Embarrass See how I just misspoke? That was pretty embarrassing. If I was on the phone with one of my friends, that wouldn't be embarrassing, that would be considered funny. That's why embarrassment is so weird though, because it changes depending on who you're with and where you are. Since we're talking about embarrassment, I think it's only fair to start off with an embarrassing story of my own. Not really a story, just something embarrassing that happened. This happened in ninth grade, but basically I was walking to class, and as I was walking through the hallway, I noticed a puddle of water on the floor from a broken water fountain. At the time, I was wearing black Crocs with almost no grip on the bottom, so I had to make sure to be extra careful when I walked by. The puddle was taking up the whole hallway, so I had to walk through it no matter what. By some miracle, I make it through fine, and once I get to class, I kind of forget about it. Now, fast forward 90 minutes later, and class is over. I don't know if the janitors decided it wasn't their problem or what, but by the time class was over, it was still out there. And I swear this puddle found a way to target me because I remember as I was walking up to it, I reminded myself of earlier, and I was like, I need to be very careful when I walk over this. Now, you think that with me being extra careful the second time, it should go just as smoothly as the first, right? Wrong. Like I said, you had to walk through this puddle to leave class, and it was a class I didn't really like, so I was at the front of the line, which meant two things. One, I was the first person to walk through this puddle, and two, I was in front of everybody in the class. And it's funny too, because I remember as I was walking, the last thing I thought before I fell is, damn, I should really be careful. It would be so embarrassing to slip in front of the whole class. And if you haven't pieced it together yet, basically I bust my ass in front of the entire class. And it couldn't have even been a normal fall because when I stepped, like I said, these Crocs had no grip. And the slippery water on the tile must have just made the perfect combination. Not only did I fall, not only was it in front of my entire class, but it looked like I fell as if I was in a cartoon. Because when I fell, both of my legs went straight up into the air and I fell straight onto my back. Now, I'll be honest, that shit kinda hurt, but what hurt a lot more is hearing people behind me uncontrollably dying laughing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not above laughing at somebody if they embarrass themselves in public, but I'm not about to do it out loud right in front of them. But really, do I blame them for laughing? No. Do I kinda wish that I had gotten knocked out and been seriously injured so they looked bad for laughing? Kinda. That's why getting embarrassed in public is so much worse though, because we've all done embarrassing stuff at home and it's not that big of a deal because nobody's gonna judge you. At least not to the degree that strangers in public would. And when you think about it, the amount of people reacting to you doing something stupid is a pretty big part of how embarrassed you feel about something. For example, if you're walking down the street and somebody sees you fall, it's pretty embarrassing. But now you can at least move on and just accept that that guy's your enemy now. But if it's like what happened to me and you embarrass yourself in front of a big group of people, you might just never want to come back again. The worst way to be embarrassed though is when it's not even your fault. One of the ways this can happen is if somebody else does something to you that's meant to embarrass you. I mean, we've all had somebody trip us or at least something similar. Or if you've ever been out with your parents and they start arguing with somebody that works at the place you're at. That situation specifically sucks because it probably happens when you're younger and it's not like you can just leave or anything. That's kind of ironic though because when kids are younger they probably embarrass their parents a lot. I mean, I can only imagine how I'd feel if I was trying to grocery shop with my family and all of a sudden my kid was rolling on the floor screaming because I wouldn't buy him Legos. It's kind of funny too though because the people that are gonna see that are probably gonna feel bad and embarrassed for you, which kind of leads to the next thing because secondhand embarrassment sucks too. Obviously it can be pretty funny to laugh at people, but it only goes so far. I'm gonna use the kid throwing a tantrum in a store as an example because there's a line where it goes from funny and easy to laugh at to where you start feeling bad for the poor parents. Like obviously the first little bit of the kid tweaking out is funny, but after maybe a few minutes you start to notice the stress on the parents' faces and realize how embarrassing it probably is for them. Real shit though, respect to parents with kids like that because I'd be really tempted to leave my kid in Walmart if they started tweaking like that in public. I feel like social media has made it a lot easier to embarrass people because people post themselves pretty often now. I mean, just think about how many people are addicted to social media and end up posting their entire life on there. Especially if they do it consistently or for a long enough time, there's bound to be something that's easy to make fun of. Especially when now one of the easiest ways to get popular online is to embarrass yourself and post about it. We've all seen those prank videos where people go into stores and scream or whatever, and nobody's watching it because they think the people in those videos are cool. It's just because it's easy to laugh at the dumb people making a scene. Besides hate watchers, I'd say most of their views come from people that are only watching so they can get a taste of that secondhand embarrassment they feel. Because the thing about the internet is everybody feels anonymous and invincible, so if you post the wrong thing, you're gonna get cooked. And I'm not talking about when you post a picture of yourself on your story and one of your friends makes fun of you for it. I mean just like a regular post and you think nothing of it until there's thousands of comments just destroying you. The main one that comes to mind right now is that one girl that made a video about the chopped man epidemic. Basically, all it was is this girl was talking about how there's a lot of ugly guys nowadays, but she made one mistake and she ended up showing her face in the video. Which is pretty ironic because the popular opinion online is that she's pretty ugly herself. That's not my words though. If you've seen the comment section, you know what I'm talking about. But the amount of secondhand embarrassment I'm getting from that is crazy, because imagine making a video like that thinking everybody's gonna be on your side and agree with you. You see that your video blew up, so you get excited and run to the comments just to find everybody hating on you and saying how ugly you are. That's kind of just how it is though. If you're gonna be making fun of people, you need to expect to be made fun of back. But sometimes getting embarrassed online isn't always your fault. I mean, that one guy Cuffham, he didn't even do anything bad that I know of. People just decided him and his dreads were ugly. I don't know, it's gotta be pretty embarrassing to have an internet trend made after making fun of you. That's about it for today's video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I have a lot more embarrassing stories to tell, so if that's what you guys want to hear, let me know. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time, and happy holidays.